Hello everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a hidden biological kingdom that's literally right under our feet. We're breaking down some absolutely incredible source material that completely shifted how I view the world. We're talking about fungi. But, not just the mushrooms you see on a hike or the yeast in your sourdough. We're looking at a vast, invisible network with biological superpowers that sound straight out of sci-fi. I mean, we're talking mind control, eating radiation, the whole shebang.
So let's kick this off with a question scientists face every single time they sample soil, bodies of water, or even the air we breathe. When they extract DNA from these environments, they routinely uncover thousands of tiny mysteries. Basically, they find these unique fragments of DNA that just don't match any known species on record.
And these mysterious DNA fragments point to a truly staggering reality. Get this. Scientists estimate that somewhere between 2 to 12 million species of fungi haven't even been discovered by humanity yet. 12 million. Just think about that. We haven't even seen their physical structures, either because they're totally microscopic or they live entirely hidden away inside other organisms.
Now, researchers have a pretty fantastic name for these missing organisms. They call them dark fungi. It's kind of like when astronomers talk about dark matter in space, right? They're all around us, constantly shaping our world, yet they completely elude physical discovery. We know they're out there because of their genetic footprints, but they remain totally unseen.
For centuries, biologists actually mistakenly classified fungi as plants, which honestly makes sense at first glance. They grow from the soil using these branching root-like networks. But biologically, fungi aren't just weird plants. See, plants harness energy from the sun and have cell walls made of cellulose. Fungi actually eat by decomposing matter or actively siphoning nutrients from other organisms. And even wilder, their cell walls are made of chitin. That's the exact same stuff found in the exoskeletons of insects like beetles or crustaceans like shrimp.
And that brings us to a really brilliant point. Fungi are actually much more closely related to animals than they are to plants. We literally share a common ancestor that first popped up over 1 billion years ago. As they evolved, they took on these incredible ecological roles. Actually, 470 million years ago, when the Earth was basically just barren rock, it was fungi that formed intertwined relationships with plants, finally allowing them to colonize land.
Section 1. Masters of Symbiosis.
So these ancient partnerships have evolved into incredibly complex, life-sustaining systems. A lot of plants today literally couldn't survive without these fungal partners. There are two main strategies we see here. Ectomycorrhizal fungi will completely wrap around plant roots, foraging in the dirt to trade scavenged phosphorus and nitrogen for the plant's carbon. But then you have arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi, and they take it a step further. They literally puncture the plant root cells, acting like microscopic straws to pull off this essential nutrient exchange.
Section 2. Chemical warfare and manipulation.
But hey, it's not all friendly trades in the fungal kingdom. They've also evolved a terrifying arsenal of toxins and highly complex chemicals to defend against or manipulate their neighbors. A wild example is psilocybin, a molecule produced by many mushrooms. It binds to serotonin receptors in animals, causing well-known hallucinogenic effects in humans. But fungi absolutely didn't evolve this for human recreation. Evolutionarily speaking, this likely evolved to scramble the brains of hungry slugs and snails, basically sending them on a trip they didn't ask for, so the fungus wouldn't get eaten.
Or consider this absolute nightmare. Clathrus archeri, better known as devil's fingers. It looks exactly like a cluster of red tentacles erupting straight out of the ground. To spread its spores, it oozes this sticky slime called gleba that smells just like rotting flesh. This clever little deception tricks nearby flies, who are attracted to the stench, into feeding on the slime, and then they unknowingly carry the spores away on their bodies.
And then, of course, we have the masters of mind control, cordyceps. Look at how this fungus chemically hijacks its host. First, it infects an ant, uses toxins to completely take over its nervous system, and literally connects directly to the ant's muscle fibers. It turns the poor thing into a zombie puppet, forcing it to climb up high, where it eventually dies. Then, the fungus erupts and ejects millions of spores over a massive area below.
Section 3. Surviving the extreme. Now, if biological mind control wasn't crazy enough to impress you, let's talk about their sheer resilience, because this completely blew my mind when I was reading the source material. Take the ruins of Chernobyl, the site of one of the worst nuclear disasters in history. Inside this highly radioactive wasteland, researchers have found at least 37 species of fungi just thriving. A lot of these fungi are packed with melanin, a pigment that actually absorbs harmful radiation, acting as a shield to protect their DNA from being destroyed.
But here's where it gets truly unbelievable. Some of them don't just endure the radiation, they actually eat it. Tests conducted all the way up on the International Space Station prove that species like Cryptococcus neoformans can absorb pure gamma radiation and convert it into usable energy. It's a completely mind-blowing metabolic strategy that totally redefines what we thought were the absolute limits of life.
Section 4. Earth's Hidden Climate Shield. So, with all these bizarre superpowers, why does this matter to us on a planetary scale? Well, way up in the Arctic tundra, fungi form this vast, invisible underground network. It helps plants survive the brutal winters. It does something even more crucial for humanity. It's stockpiling carbon pulled straight out of our atmosphere. Scientists actually suspect these specific Arctic soils might be incredibly rich in those mysterious, undiscovered dark fungi we talked about earlier.
And the sheer volume of what they're doing is just hard to wrap your head around. Researchers estimate that these fungal networks, along with their plant partners, are sequestering a mind-boggling 1 trillion metric tons of carbon safely underground.
To really put that into perspective, think about the entire Amazon rainforest, the lungs of the Earth. These invisible fungal networks lock away 10 times more carbon than the entire Amazon. They're acting as this absolute invisible shield, keeping our Earth resilient against climate change.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a thought to chew on. The fungal world we can actually see, the mushrooms, the molds, is already vast and wild. But considering there are up to 12 million species of dark fungi performing these literal miracles, mind control, eating radiation, storing trillions of tons of carbon, completely unseen right beneath our feet, what else is out there waiting to be discovered? Thanks so much for joining me to explore this incredible hidden kingdom.